Week 8 of the high school football season about to commence here at Durfee High School. Evan Massoud and BJ McDonald with you on Fred TV for the call as the Durfee Hilltoppers and the Bishop Stang Spartans square off in non-playoff football here. Hilltoppers, last time B that you and I did a game, it was opening night, and Durfee came out on top in that triple overtime thriller against Somerset. Since then, been a tough road, especially over the last 2 weeks on the road against Brockton and Barnstable.
Yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head. I mean, Barnstable, Brockton, two very good playoff teams in Division I, and Durfee being a Division II team. I think you got a winnable game here and a good start with the kickoff return.
Yeah, taken across the 40, no flags on that return, and the Hilltoppers will have really good field position. And we look back at some games this year, the Somerset game really ended up, I mean, again, anytime you go into overtime, it's kind of anybody's game, and Durfee made that stop to win it. Ironically, you mentioned, and you brought up the point, that Somerset's in the playoffs right now, so that loss didn't hurt them. But for Durfee, there were, in my opinion, 3 losses, 3 games that really were winnable games, none more so than the Dartmouth game on the road. But the Taunton game at home and the Nauset game at home really were close games. Turnovers really what decided it, because the Hilltoppers were never really out of it.
Go ahead, Jay, go.
Hey, there you go. Jay Hall cuts back inside, and he's gone. To the 10, to the 5, touchdown Hilltoppers. What a start.
That's exactly the start you're looking for anytime you come out after that delay with the light delay here, first play of the game. Jay Hall, what's that, about 65 yards untouched. Great job by the offensive line. There was a huge hole there on the right side. Jay Hall tucked it away right down the sideline, cut it back. Great start for the Hilltoppers.
Yeah, officially the ball was at the 44, so 56 yards to the house on one play. We're just 22 seconds into it, and the Hilltoppers with the early lead. Oh, that's going to be blocked. Bad snap, didn't get it placed, so the kick no good. So a blunder there, but great to have the lead less than 30 seconds into it. Now, you mentioned the lights. Yeah, we had no lights. You see the photo on your screen right now. I took this pre-game, and the lights went off right about, I want to say, 6:45, and something tripped. Everything else was lit. The new building was still lit. The scoreboard was on and the practice field was on, and we were literally like this close to switching to the practice field, which would have been challenging. But nonetheless, the lights came back on, no problem, and we're here. But this game getting started about a half an hour late here tonight.
Great start, though. I mean, we were talking a little bit as that first snap about the Hilltoppers coming in, losing the last couple games with Barnstable and Brockton on the road and being able to get back at home. I believe Stang's coming off a big win. I believe it was last week over Dartmouth. And that was, I think, according to the paper, it was the first time beating Dartmouth in 20-plus years. So a huge win for them, and maybe a little bit of a letdown here. You get the delay, everything else going on. It was, 21-14 they beat Dartmouth last week.
That was just their first road win of the season. They're 4-3, Durfee 2-5. But how do you call a Stang game a road game when you're literally playing half a mile away from each other? So good return here for the Spartans. Down at the 50 or just shy of. But yeah, if there's one record or one stat that comes in makes it feel a little better, is that Stang only 1-3 on the road. They're on the road here. Durfee's at home, and now they start with that lead right away.
And I think common opponents too. When you look at these two teams on paper, they probably match up pretty well. Similar records. The common opponent being Dartmouth. Durfee losing a heartbreaker. I didn't see the game, but heard there was a couple questionable calls towards the end of that game where
a brutal call.
Looked like the kid stepped out of bounds and he ran down the sideline. So they played them tough, and they lost that game, and it was probably a coin flip game. And the same thing last week with Stang and Dartmouth, a coin flip game. So I think you're going to see a good game here today, and glad to see Durfee get off on the right foot and play with the lead. I think that's something that they haven't been able or had the opportunity to do throughout the season. And whenever you're playing with the lead and tilting the field the other way, I mean, that's always makes things a little bit easier.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Now, the Dartmouth game, we did not have that immediately on Fred TV, because I was actually calling the game for Dartmouth cable, because Dartmouth had the road game. They had the home game. We had the road game. We did run it, And if you watch it back, it's also on our YouTube account. Nice stop on D on 2nd down. But really, the questionable call came actually when Durfee was playing defense after turning the ball over. This ended up being Dartmouth's game-winning drive. Durfee was on defense, and it was right about the 40-yard line. Hilltoppers made the stop on 4th down. The line judge marked him where he went down. It was the right spot, a yard short, and then the official on the other side of the field came in and pushed him up a yard, and it gave him the 1st down by literally like the nose of the football.
And then the play when the kid scored the touchdown, he was very close to stepping out of bounds.
He was.
And if you see it on film, it looks like he might have.
Yeah, it's close. So there's some rough calls down the stretch. Going to pass here on 3rd down, and that's going to be, I think, good for the 1st down.
Pretty good pitch and catch there from the quarterback, Andrew DiGiamano.
That's a short spot. I thought he was past the 40.
We were talking about the spot.
Really, I thought that was good for a first. That's a tough spot for the Stang Spartans. I think they got gypped a yard.
You run that play right on 3rd and long, you're 3rd and 9, you run a 10-yard comeback and thinking you're past the sticks. You came back to the ball, but looks like they maybe came back a little too far. It was a yard short.
So 4th and maybe just a little more than a yard. They're going to go for it. That was Andrew DiGiamano, the senior QB, his first pass of the night after 2 running plays. Didn't amount to much. They'll hand it off here, and it will be a 1st down. The running back, number 42, Francisco Hernandez Mannon, a junior from New Bedford.
Hernandez Mannon on the carry, tackled by number 58, Jaden Babola. The run is good enough for Spartans. 1st down.
So the Spartans move the chains here. 1st and 10 across the 40. Into the outside, tackle made.
Looked like the same play the other way. The 4th down play off tackle to the right. That 1st down play off tackle to the left. I think the first 2 plays, Durfee plugged it up in the middle. Robitaille in the middle kind of controlled that line of scrimmage on the first 2 plays of the drive. And now it looks like Stang might be double teaming him, trying to pin him down and running off tackle.
Holly with the tackle after a gain of 6 yards, so 2nd and 4. You know, talk about the Barnstable loss, the Brockton loss for Durfee, really blowout losses. Haven't seen some blowout losses like that in a while. Actually, really, they were the first ones this season, because most of the games have been pretty close, about 1 possession or so. And you know, talking to Coach Powers before the game, assistant Coach Powers, and he said, you know, it's tough because they're big teams, number 1, but they're also, a lot of them have seniors on their teams. They have way more experience. This is still a young Durfee team. You know, they've had some success this year. They've had some games they should have won. And I look at it and I say a couple of those games where there were some turnovers or some errors, you know, if they're seniors and not sophomores, the core players here, they might be 4-3 like Stang right now and on the bubble for a playoff.
Yeah, I mean, those are all coin flip games too. You know, as you look down this Durfee roster, I mean, it's sophomore, junior, sophomore. There's not many seniors even on the roster.
Blocked, batted away. The ball is incomplete, but I always like that. Play until the whistle, and Hall did just that. Picked it up in hopes that maybe he'd take it back. So it's going to be 4th down and about 3 yards after the incomplete. 4th and 4. Given that Stang went for it further back, I'm assuming that they're going to go for it here. They're in the huddle and ready to rock. Quick fix of the ball. The spot was a little too far. Here we go, 4th and 4. Look at the pass. Oh, and he's going down with the sack.
DiGiamano is sacked in the backfield by number 56, Jeffrey Castro.
That was Jeffrey Castro, a sophomore.
There it is, another sophomore. Sophomores and juniors leading the way for the Hilltoppers.
You gotta love it. This is senior night here tonight. We'll have that ceremony for you to see at the half. But just a handful of seniors on this team. So that's why when we say it's a young team, we're not kidding. This is a young group of players. Nice spin move on first down as Durfee took over right at about the 35-yard line.
Niger Montero on the carry.
That was Niger Montero, number 10.
Gain of about 5 yards. It'll
Picked
be
up
second
5
down
halfway
for the
there.
Hilltoppers.
You'll take that all day, 4, 5, 6 yards a pop.
Yeah, your favorite line is stay ahead of the chain, stay ahead of the sticks.
That's it. Sometimes your best defense is your offense, right?
Second and 5.
Especially in high school football, the clock goes. You know, if you can control the line of scrimmage and put together some 6, 7, 8, 9 play drives, you're going to eat up, 6, 7, 8, 9 minutes, and the other team can't score if you have the ball.
That was a good run from Hall, bouncing off a defender after only about 2 yards. He picked up another 2 after that before being spun down, and it's going to be 3rd and 1.
Jay's a tough kid, and he does it all for the Hilltoppers. You see him on offense, defense. He kickoffs, extra points. I mean, he's all over the place. So as a sophomore, you hope he comes into a leadership role in the next couple of years and can, take this team over the hump where we were just talking about. You go from 2 or 3 wins as sophomores to, 4, 5, 6 wins as juniors, and then by the time you're seniors, hey, we can beat anybody on our schedule.
Right. It's about building confidence, and too. You mentioned Hall. I think what we're seeing is our official here. Okay, now he winds the clock. I think what we're seeing, though, a lot of times is it's hard to say that you got a clear-cut offensive group and a clear-cut defensive group. So often now we're seeing players playing both sides of the ball, and I think
that's a great job there. Second effort. Did he get it?
I think he did. Yep, he got 2 yards. He needed 1. So that's a
great effort there, but I didn't mean to cut you off.
No,
but yeah, you're right. You're looking for football players. You're looking for athletes.
Right.
You're looking for even kids that are not playing, wrestlers, track stars, baseball players. Football, it's a difficult game, but if you're an athlete, it should be something you think about playing because you can find a spot on offense, on defense, on special teams. And when you have athletes out there, guys are interchangeable. It makes the coach's life a lot easier when you can move a guy from receiver to running back to quarterback, to defensive back and shuffle guys around. It keeps the other team on their toes too.
Bit of a hesitation. Look at it, putting the shoulder down. Hall having a great start to this game here. Picks up 9 yards. He's going to be just short of the first down as the Hilltoppers cross midfield.
It's a great run there by Jay Hall. Again, Stang's going to call a timeout. It looks like, is that Coach Golden over there losing his mind? He's not usually one to get too wound up.
I know. You said you've known Coach Golden a long time.
I have a lot of respect for Coach Golden. He's a great guy. He's been around, high school sports forever. He was the head coach at New Bedford High for years and years. He left New Bedford High and was up at Catholic Memorial for a few years. Just came back to Stang, I believe in the last couple of years, took over the role of athletic director. His son was a great player at Stang in the last couple of years. I believe he's playing in college somewhere now. So just a great guy. Like I said, I have a lot of respect for him. We had a lot of fun playing against him in high school. And, it's fun to see those guys now as adults that you've played against and, competed against. And they still have respect for you, even though I was a high school kid competing against them. So it's pretty cool.
Ball at the 46, 2 yards shy, 2nd and 2. We come out of the timeout. We'll run it again, good for a first down and a few more.
You got to giving the running backs a lot of credit, and that wasn't Jay that time. That was Keyshawn Rue, it looked like, on that run. But you got to give the offensive line some credit to this start here in the first quarter, too. They've opened up some holes and controlled the line of scrimmage. And, again, like you said, you're putting together a drive. You're now under 5 minutes to go in the first quarter, and they can't score if we get the ball.
Oh, yeah, time of possession, protecting the football. And what I'm liking is that, I saw this, we played, Diamond was home last week, and so we were over there for the Bengals. Again, putting the shoulder down. The Hilltoppers playing physical early here. And one of the things that I'm seeing here, and I mentioned this in the Diamond game, and again, they're kind of a young team as well.
Brought down by number 7.
You know, they were snapping the ball with the running backs literally like 2 yards behind the line. There was no room for them to even hand the ball off and get a running start. Here you're seeing what you should be doing. So this is a good example for those of you who caught last week's game. The running backs are, what, 7 yards? At least 5 yards behind the line here.
And
you can get timing, you get the jump. Look at, again, putting the shoulder down, they're pumping the legs, trying to get a push from behind. Not too much happened in that time on second down, but I think maybe a yard, so you're looking at probably 3rd and 4.
Well, and historically, I mean, that was kind of what Durfee hung their hat on was, you know, when Coach Winofsky was here, it was tough, clean, hard-nosed football. And, you know, he maybe didn't have the record of, you know, a Brockton or some of the guys that, you know, won hundreds of games and state championships, but Durfee was always in games, and I think that's why Coach Golden always had a lot of respect for Coach Winofsky and the way we played on Thanksgiving and the way Coach Winofsky's teams competed on Thanksgiving. You know, you talk about moving guys around. It was always something different on Thanksgiving. You had an extra week to get ready to play, so you could throw different wrinkles at him, and he would talk about that, how it was always something a little bit different. And I think now that you've got Taylor Brown as the head coach, a disciple of Coach Winofsky's, you know, system, took the team to the Super Bowl in 2001, and just being having that same mentality, like, you know what, even if the other team has more talent, we're going to go out and we're going to play harder than them, we're going to hit harder than them, and we're going to play the game the right way. Like you said, take care of the football. And I think when you bring that attitude, you earn the other team's respect, you know, and you're not losing games 60-0. You mentioned it earlier. Yeah. You're in football games, you're competing, you're hitting. At the end of the game, you can shake the other team's hand, and they know that, you know, you played your butt off.
First down. There is a flag coming in, but it comes flying.
It's probably going to come back.
Probably.
Durfee handoff to number 3, Javon Holly.
Holly made it all the way down to the end zone.
He was untouched, so.
Yeah. So I'm thinking it's probably maybe a hold down the field here. Well, I just saw one of the officials point toward the defense, so it might be on the defense.
I doubt it.
But the fact that they're calling the play back. Holding.
Might have to get a little creative with the play call now. You go from, you know, 3rd and 5 to now 3rd and 15 or so. Might have to see
it's a spot foul. So
okay, so it was down.
The good news is, it was past the line to gain. So now you're looking at 3rd and 8. So they really lost 3 yards, but what they lost was 6 points. Because Holly was in the end zone and Stang was nowhere near him. The Spartans were completely fooled on that run. Pressure coming. Can he get around the pile? He's going to run into some traffic. And he gets taken down at the line of scrimmage. Might even be for a loss of a yard.
Ball carrier, tackled by number 42.
So that's quite the turn of events there. 6 points negated thanks to a hold. You hate to see that, and it's going to be 4th and 9.
And I feel like that's been the story of the year, too, for the Hilltoppers. Even the Somerset game and a couple of other games that I've seen, they've had big plays called back.
Yeah. The term shoot yourself in the foot.
Right.
You know, sometimes that ends up happening. And, you know, of course, holding, I think, holding can be very subjective. You know,
especially in high school football, you can call it every play.
Exactly, and you know, and it's even fair to say that you could call it on every play almost in the NFL. So it depends on loose.
Doesn't matter.
I mean, either way, 4th down. It would have been a hard play. Would have liked to see the play get off though and see what they could do, but they will turn the ball over at the 40.
That hurts.
Yeah. So what would have been a touchdown is negated thanks to the hold, and the Hilltoppers come up empty on their second drive.
Take over, 1st and 10 at their own 40-yard line.
Got Jake Fitzgerald down on the field tonight while we got our student crew on the roof with Cam Norwood and Nathan Saucier, and another sack. That's a big loss for the Spartans, about 7 yards. As
is that Ariel Pereira?
Number 88, that's Ariel Pereira.
6'3", 270-pound sophomore.
Ariel Pereira.
That's a big sack right there. They lost officially 6 yards, so it'll be 2nd and 16. But no, I was saying, so Jake, we've been working on starting on a promo so we can kind of put together a true kind of opening sequence for all our games, trying to get compiled footage from all the sports. And in addition, putting together something at the same time for Athletic Director Buston to use at the middle schools for recruiting. And so Jake down on the field, another good tackle, no gain.
Yeah, I think that's one thing that the school as a whole and the administration and, you know, the coaching staff combine, everybody as a joint effort in the community trying to get more kids to come out and play. You know, it would be nice to see more kids on the sidelines every year. And I know that you need to be successful in order to, you know, generate some interest. But whatever we can do as a community to get kids on the field, I mean, it's great that there are kids here, you know, watching the game or pretending to watch the game from the sidelines. But it'd be even better if a lot of these kids were, you know, on the sidelines and playing a role, you know, having to go to practice every day.
Almost picked off. I knew it was going to be overshot. Definitely overshot Liam Cogliano, but almost picked off. So 4th down and 16. But no, B, you're right. And you know, I look at, having done the story basically every summer since I've been on the staff here, is I look at the Fall River Falcons. That should be your #1 source for players. Now, granted, not every player is going to play the rest of their life all the way into high school, but there are so many kids. And Coach Bear, you know, I had interviewed him in the summer, and he said numbers are up this year. We have great numbers, and it seems to go up every year, even if it's just a little. Very rare do they have a down year.
Yeah, and you've got they're doing a great job with the middle school programs. Ooh,
that was almost blocked.
You might have got a piece of it. Get away from it. Get out of there.
Coach McDonald.
Well, that ball can bounce any which way, and if that thing hits your foot, now they fall on it.
Yeah,
you know?
And it's their ball.
Just get away from it.
Right. No, you're absolutely right. And that, to me, those are the little things that, like, we know that just from watching football. Don't go near the ball. From watching for years on TV, we know that. You don't have to play to know that. So those are some of the little things that, you're right. All right, the punt is over your head. It's on the ball. Just whatever. Leave it. So Durfee gets it after the punt. Trying to bounce outside. Oh, found a hole.
There it is. Go.
Hold that ball across the 45. And a big sprint pickup of nearly 20 yards.
But you mentioned, you know, the Fall River Falcons and the feeder programs of the middle school flag leagues that they have, and, you know, everything that's going on, which is great, and it should continue. The difficult thing, and I think the thing that the school and as a whole needs to focus on, is the fact that there are other avenues and other places kids can play football in the city now. You can go play at Diamond, you can go play at the charter school. Yeah. You know, you can, Conley has a co-op program. You know, so you have other options. So I think that's why
you
it's
even
huge.
have Stang. There is a Fall River guy, a senior, Evan Brady.
Yeah, and you look at some of the guys that they've lost in the last couple of years that have gone up to Catholic Memorial and different schools in the area that, you know, are guys that are, you know, prep schools and things like that. You're not only competing with the schools within your city for these kids and these athletes that you want to play, you know, here on Ellsbury Street, but you're also competing across New England with the kids that end up going to prep school and, you know, wanting to play at a higher level. So I think anything that the school can do, that the administration can do, you know, in conjunction with the coaching staff and any alumni, I'd be willing to help with whatever I can to try to generate interest. And if, you know, if it takes making a 30-second video with Jake on the sideline and putting some rap music and stuff in the background to get kids to come out and play, then let's do it. You know, whatever we need to do to try to take this program, because you mentioned the Falcons, and the core of these guys are Pop Warner kids that played in, you know, through the years together and with the Falcons. So that's the building blocks of a solid program, and I think any high school coach or, you know, anybody in any high school sport would agree. It's not rocket science. It's just how do you get there, and that's the question.
And there are a few people, folks, if you're watching at home, that know this better than B, who was a 3-sport player for 4 years, right?
Yeah.
So you know. Another good run. Javon Holly that time with the carry, and the Hilltoppers into Spartans territory.
That run's good enough for a Hilltoppers.
First and 10 from the 37. So that quick timeout while we were chatting, that was the end of the first quarter already. So again, and that's what you get with a lot of running plays. We mentioned that earlier. And the Hilltoppers on their third drive here, hoping to find that end zone a second time. That's Rue, I believe.
It's another great job by the offensive line up front.
Yeah, I'm impressed. They're making, they're holding back the defense, and they're opening up some lanes for the running game. We don't usually see a lot of success right up the middle like that.
Goes back to the coach Nathan Levesque, first-year offensive line coach, former Durfee standout, went on to play at WPI. You know, he was right around Coach Brown's year. They played together. So it's cool to see those guys coming back and alumni on the staff. You look at Stang's roster, they got a bunch of alumni on their staff.
Yeah. Look at that push. That should have been only 4 yards. He picked up almost 15.
Rue on the carry. He has enough.
Rue with the first down. And the Hilltoppers at the 20. They're in the red zone.
First and 10 Durfee from
and they haven't thrown a pass all night, Ev.
Right? And if you know what, if this is working, keep the ball down, keep it on the ground. You know?
If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Right?
Absolutely. Until Stang shows that they're going to button up the middle there and you can't go anywhere, keep it running. Even that, you'll take that. What's about maybe 3 yards?
3, 4 yards, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, 3 yards, 2nd and 7 coming up.
I was listening to a podcast with Jim Harbaugh the other day.
Yeah.
And he said he ran the same play 11 times in a row. The most he's ever ran the same play in a row was 11 times.
Really?
And the guy interviewing him said, well, what made you stop running it? He said, we scored.
That's great.
So, if they can't stop it, keep running it.
I know.
Oh, no. This is a drive killer.
Yeah. Well, he's going to get around, and he's going to make something of it. Are you serious? Javon Holly to the end zone. And a flag at the last second.
Oh, no.
But he was already in the end zone.
Who's the flag on, though?
By number 3, Javon Holly.
Oh, no. Put the flag away.
For a 20-yard score. There is a flag on the play.
Very late, yeah. Our Billy Tran, our PA
as soon as he
announcer.
knew he was going to score, he threw the flag. Of course. Oh, my God.
That's garbage.
Holding on the Hilltoppers.
They wait until they score.
Two touchdowns that have been taken away by our friends in pinstripes.
Well, so much for that made me put my foot in my mouth there. So much for that. Wait, talk about making something out of nothing.
Yeah, seriously. So
and then
first
you
of
take
all,
it away from him.
First of all, Holly deserves all the credit in the world because that was insane. Now Stang calling the timeout.
Timeout, Spartan.
And that's the second touchdown that Javon scored that they've had that's been called back.
So it's going to be the ball actually is spotted at the same spot here. So the hold happened 10 yards down the field.
Yeah, so both penalties.
Yeah,
it's like,
it was at the 8-yard
they're
line.
about to score. Here's the flag.
Yeah, that's.
What are you going to do? You're going to control the things you can control, right? That's what they say.
Terribly frustrating. So the Spartans using their second timeout of the half. Now breaking the huddle. And the Hilltoppers, basically, all they lost was the touchdown because it's 2nd and 7 from the same spot.
It's like playing in the park. You get a redo.
You get a redo, but, hopefully the redo counts for 6 points this time. Maybe third time's a charm. They do decide to pass. It's complete. diving down shy of the first, maybe about 2 yards.
He's a playmaker, that kid,
Javon
Javon Holly. I mean, they're just looking to get the ball in his hands, try to get him in space. I know he's a basketball player as well. So
Holly had a great year last year as a freshman on varsity for
third down and short
basketball. Really had a tremendous freshman year.
And it's great that he came back out and played football again, you know, and built on that. I know they had a tough year last year as freshmen, but a lot of those guys that gained invaluable experience playing on the varsity level as freshmen, now you're seeing it start to pay off here as sophomores as the season runs, you know, winds down, and you're going to see it pay off even more next year when they all come back.
3rd and 4, and they'll run it. Good for the first down, still on his feet, diving forward. Does he get to the end zone? Going to be maybe a yard short.
And goal.
First and goal from probably the 1 or 2 yard line.
I think you could have ran through that hole, though, Ev.
I appreciate your faith in me, B, but there's a reason I'm wearing the headset right now.
Not taking anything away from Jay. That's a great run. He dropped his shoulders there at the end, but a lot of credit to the offensive line. That was a big hole to run through.
Once again, the O-line making it happen. It's going to be first and goal from the 2. And the clock keeps rolling. 8:20 to play in the first half. And the Hilltoppers just 2 yards away from going up by 2 touchdowns.
There you go. Beat him to the corner.
Oh, he got it. Touchdown, Hilltoppers, and not a yellow flag in sight.
He takes it in for a Hilltoppers touchdown.
Javon Holly just looking to get him in space, get him outside. I don't think that play was probably designed to be out there, but he saw an opening, beat the guy to the corner, and 12-0 Hilltoppers.
Got him the score. 3rd time's a charm for Holly after 2 of them were taken away. So 12-0 Durfee. You know, the way they're running it, I'd like to see them go for 2 right now after the botched kick last time. I'm surprised they're not going for it, but
that's a good point.
I mean, really.
They haven't had the couple bad plays they've had were kind of broken plays with the bad snap.
Yeah.
It's a good kick, though.
And
he missed it?
Oh, he missed it. Wide left. Kind of towed it. He's not lining up kind of on an angle to kind of sweep it. It's kind of towing it straight ahead. And that, you know, you're not hitting it square when it's on your toe. But honestly, I mean, so many teams just go for 2, but in this case, I'm kind of surprised you're down. You know, it's 12. Right. Try to get to 14.
Agreed. Do I not give it to Javon again? Yeah. Or Jay's been going?
You're asking for 2 yards, and they're getting 4 or 5 on every play right up the gut.
We'll take the touchdown, though. 12-0 Hilltoppers, 8 minutes to go and a half.
When was the last time Durfee had a 12-0 lead?
I don't think it's been this year.
No, it hasn't. So it's a great.
And it wasn't last year.
No, the guys got to be feeling good, especially to come back after having 2 of them taken away and that last one just taken away. To come back and still be able to score.
Well, I think it speaks volumes to you know, you got to give the kids credit for, you get that stupid half-hour delay where the lights go out.
Right.
You know, and it would have been very easy to not be ready to play after that delay. You're all amped up. It's senior night. You know, you're 5 minutes from kickoff and the lights go out. You know, now you got to wait 45 minutes or whatever it was before the game starts. And I think it seems like it's paid off for Durfee, and it seems like Stang might be the team that was sleepwalking a little bit here through the first half.
Oh, squib kick on the ground.
Got it.
I was going to say, I think that might have been touched, but Spartans do fall on it at the 28, 29-yard line.
That's a good kick. I mean, that's a tough thing in high school football a lot of times, is covering the kick. I know a lot of times, you know, as the coaching staff kind of cringes when the ball is kicked deep and the guy, you know, you see it all too often where the team scores and you get a nice deep kick and the kid runs it back.
Well, we saw that last year against Dartmouth right here.
Exactly.
So, all too many times. And
so I think if you could put the ball on the 29-yard line every time as a coach, I think you're going to take that.
No, that's not bad, and that's why you don't see a lot of times the ball kicked in the air. A lot of times you see those squib kicks because maybe you hope it bounces off the guy and your guys are coming, you grab it and you get the ball. Probably a better shot at that. Fumble! The Hilltoppers have it.
Oh.
6 points coming Durfee's way on the fumble return.
Jaden Lewis with the scoop and score. Talk about a turn of events there again. No sooner did I say that Stang was sleepwalking through the first half. They put the ball on the ground. Durfee picks it up and scores it, and it's 18-0.
18-0 the score.
And here's they're going for 2.
Yeah, as they should.
Yeah.
I mean, take nothing away from the kicker, but, you know, he has missed 2. One was blocked.
I think he would admit he'd probably rather get the handoff than try to kick it.
Yeah.
Coach, let me run it. I don't want to kick this one.
Right. Again, with the success they've had. So we're going for 2 this time to try to make it 20-0.
Oh, they're gonna throw it.
They're going to pass it. They're making liars out of us. Incomplete. What is going on with the point after and the 2-point conversions?
Hilltopper's 2-point
My gosh.
conversion attempt pass by Thomas is incomplete.
18. 18-0 the score. That's fantastic. All right, so another one. When was the last time Durfee had a fumble return for a touchdown? Been a long time. I have no idea. It's been too
just
long.
a defensive touchdown.
Yeah, how
I mean,
about
even
that?
An interception for a touchdown. It's
Man.
probably been a long time.
That's awesome. Well, the Hilltoppers having as good a start as they've had to a ball game that we've seen in years. 18-0. Jake Fitzgerald back here in the booth after getting us some stock footage on the sidelines. How'd it go?
Went great.
Nice job, Jake.
Jake, a man, a few words when he's not calling the game. Jake did soccer with me about, what, 2 weeks ago? 2 weeks ago, I think it was. Well, yeah, against Brockton. Well, because Jake was holding out on me. He's been working with me for 1.5 years, and he finally just tells me, you know, I played soccer for like 10 years. Like, great, when are you calling a game? So, all right, Durfee going to kick off again, now up by 3 touchdowns. It's a line drive kick. We've kind of seen everything.
Fielded cleanly, and
Yeah.
here we go. Off to the races. Uh-oh.
Went out of bounds. Right at the 45, 50.
Fielded by number 3, Greg Morales.
That's a good run back, though, for it was Morales.
Morales runs the ball back to the Hilltopper 46-yard line. It will be 1st and 10 Spartans.
Morales from Lakeville, sophomore.
I was reading online, there was a lot of conversation regarding the Catholic schools in the area. Not Stang specifically. I think Stang was opposed to this, but you know, you talk of some of the bigger Catholic schools, the Central Catholics, you know, up in Andover, Catholic Memorial, Bishop Feehan. Those teams got kids from all over the state, so it's not really fair when you've got kids. You know, you've got 3 high school football teams in Fall River, and you've got a team like Catholic Memorial drawing kids from all over the state, or Boston College High School. You know, they've got kids from all over. So there was conversations of should there be a league of, you know, just Catholic school
Morales,
teams.
the ball carrier.
This is a relatively new playoff system
Gain
and
of about 9
realignment
yards.
every year as
We'll bring
far
it
as
second down and
after
short,
your
Spartans.
whatever it is, 6 or 7 games. Now you get put in a pool because you didn't make the playoffs. And Durfee's had some success in these games, you know, in the last couple of years. So it has worked out for Durfee.
Yeah, and I don't mind telling you that every year, trying to figure out the alignment and stuff with the divisions and how it changes year to year is absolutely hellacious for
It's like
me.
the old school BCS,
Oh, my
right?
gosh.
You don't know how anything works. Everything's got points and whatnot.
It's so convoluted. It's like there's got to be a better
1st
way.
and 10 Spartans.
But no, I'm not. You know, I'm not against that. In fact, you know,
What I think they should do is what they do in other sports. They do in baseball and what they do in hockey is they take that Super 8. So take the 8 best teams in the state. You know, it's probably going to be pretty much the same schools every year.
Right.
Put them in a pool and let the other public school teams or smaller Catholic school teams like a Bishop Stang play in their regular divisions. But the teams that
that's
are,
the
you know,
the D1A.
the Zavarians of the world, the Boston College high schools, you know, Catholic Memorial, any of those schools that are drawing kids from all over the state.
Yeah.
How do you expect public schools, even a school like Brockton, to compete at that level? It just doesn't make any sense. Those schools should be all, you know, almost in their own league, or some type of Super 8 like they do in hockey and baseball. And I don't know why it's never been discussed in football.
Yeah. No, like if Brockton beats one of those teams, it's like when Durfee beats Brockton. It's like it's a rarity. 'Cause Brockton always has our number. They always have Brockton's number. You know, Durfee calling a timeout there second. So both sides left with 1.
It's a big hold here for Durfee. Second and long, you know, keep a goose egg on the board before the half.
Yeah, because theoretically with 5:57, only one timeout for the visitors. If you can hold them here, maybe get the ball with like 4.5 to play, you can run that down their throats because they've really had success. I'm interested to get your thoughts because it was a hot topic last fall and it's becoming that now again because we were in the tournament. Boys playing in girls sports. The field hockey situation.
I don't know enough about it, and I guess I'll take the political answer there. But to me, it doesn't seem fair. You know, I just feel like boys naturally are bigger and stronger and faster. You know, it's just seems to me like simple biology that's just kind of the way it is. But I don't know. I mean, I don't know enough about it. I don't know any of the rules of field hockey. I probably haven't seen a field hockey game since I was in high school.
Right.
So I don't know. I don't know enough about it. But on its face, on the surface, when you see a team win the state title and their two or three best players are boys, it just doesn't
playing
seem
against
right.
all girls.
It just doesn't seem fair to all the other girls.
Right.
And I think it diminishes and it takes away a lot of the credit from the girls that are on the state championship team. You know, even they're winning. So
you're sitting a girl who worked hard to get on a girls team. You're sitting her for the boys to play.
Yeah,
you know, that's you know, I asked a couple coaches, local coaches, and you know, they're saying they can't remember one of the Somerset players just got who was one of the boys just got his 100th goal. They said they can't remember the last time a female got 100 goals in their career.
Yeah.
So
he's probably got another season too, right?
No, I think he was a senior this year. If I read it.
I mean, not taking anything away from those.
No,
boys,
but that's the thing. If they worked hard to learn the game and they want to play, that's awesome. But the point is that those who are defending it and saying there's so much interest, then great. Then go to the MIAA and start a bloody league.
Yeah.
Let the girls play, and then let the guys play. Or at least have some restrictions, because, you know, in girls volleyball, some great defense, the Hilltoppers.
Nice year, Montero with the sack. Yeah, that's going to bring up a third and a mile. So that's the stop you're looking for.
It sure is.
5 to go. You know, third and more than 20.
Yeah, 22, 23. You know, in girls volleyball, there's so few boys volleyball teams around. There's more girls. So, for example, Diamond had a boy on the girls volleyball team because they don't have boys volleyball. But there's certain stipulations onto what the male player can do. He can't play a full rotation in every aspect of the game. Maybe that's what it needs. Maybe there needs to be some contingency. I don't know. You know, it's not to discredit anybody. It's not to make anybody feel guilty.
No, you're just trying to level the playing field.
Exactly.
We're talking about, you know.
Somerset has outscored their opponents this season. They're 18-0, by the way. 173-3.
Wow.
That's not right. That's insane. That's absurd. And I'm not saying it's only because the boys are on the team. The girls on that team are talented players too. They are. You don't end up 18.
Yeah, I have no idea. I've never seen.
You don't end up 18-0 because of maybe 2 or 3 boys on a team. That's not the reason they're 18-0. But does it give them an advantage when they're playing against an all-female team in the postseason? Of course it does. When one of your male players, one of your male players has 100 goals for his career, of course it's making a difference.
Agreed. I mean, like I said,
it's a hot topic. It's a sore subject with a lot of people who defend it. You know, Somerset's close by. Again, it's not to rag on them. And honestly, if they didn't win the state tournament and go 18-0 again this year, we probably wouldn't even be talking about it. But the fact is that there are a lot of teams in the area that feel they have 2 automatic losses playing Somerset because they can't compete against the boys. So it's either drop Somerset or force themselves to put boys on the team, which is not what it's about. They got a girls' league.
There you go. Nice run.
Hilltoppers. It's Rue joining the party. 4th touchdown of the half for the Hilltoppers.
Oh, another flag. This guy.
Who takes it in for a Hilltoppers?
Same guy every time.
Where's the flag?
That was a great run. What's he talking about?
Well, he just made the direction to the... This is really, yeah. So, folks, it's 18-0 right now. Should be 36-0.
Well, we got one on that drive. The last drive, we scored after they called one
I
back.
used to say it still wouldn't be
But
36.
it should be, yeah. It's still.
Still, it's enough now.
I mean,
enough.
I don't know.
No, really, because it's only been called on the 3 times that the Hilltoppers made it to the end zone. Those are your only flags in the game.
Must be a pretty good advantage. Must be a pretty good hold.
I have no idea.
It's all right. Do it again. Same play.
Right. 1st and 15.
There it is. Good.
Leaping across the pile. Hall
ahead,
still
Keep
on
going.
his feet. 1st down and more.
Look at that run. I think they made first contact with him around the 40-yard line.
Yep.
He just kept his feet going, dropped his shoulders. I mean, that's a great job downfield.
That's all saying here. Take your flag.
Yeah.
Seriously.
And that's all right. We'll eat up a little more clock and punch one more in before that happens.
Durfee going to get the ball at halftime. No, they
got
received the
ball
opening
to start.
kick.
Yeah,
That's right.
scored
So
right off that
Durfee's going to kick at the second half.
Oh, no.
Holly's still on his feet. Boy, he just didn't go down.
Holly, the ball carrier.
Planted.
Initial hit made by number 53. Ben Grout. Then run out
Going to be a loss, though, for the Hilltoppers.
Joseph Paulo.
Clock was still rolling. I think he did go out of bounds, so probably going to add a couple seconds, maybe like back up to 3:02.
That kid's a big kid, 88, Ariel Herrera. Big boy.
Yeah.
6'1", 6'3", 270-pound sophomore.
Oh, yeah.
Big kid.
Mm-hmm. So they reset the clock to 3 minutes, but first, the first time you'll ever see 2 minutes and 60 seconds on the clock.
Is that going to be minutes or seconds, though? Is that going to be right? Oh, there.
There we go. That is like, that's funny. That's what the scorers were told to put in. Passes complete across the middle.
That kid's a player, Cruz.
Yeah, Cruz with the catch. Still
Look at
on his
this.
feet. He wants the touchdown. Oh, he's going to be just short. Oh, man. I'll tell you something. I like what we're seeing from Durfee tonight.
Yeah, that's a big-time play out there, Brian Cruz. Nice throw by Isaiah Thomas. Hit him right in the numbers, but Cruz got out in space, made a couple guys miss, broke a few tackles, 1st and goal inside the 5. And I know Coach Brown and Coach Power speak very highly of him, too.
Yeah.
We haven't mentioned his name much tonight, but Brian Cruz is a junior, wide receiver, defensive back, and he kind of does it all for them, too. I think he's – what is he? Yeah, he is a junior.
Oh, yeah. No, he does. Part of the reason we haven't said it is because the running game's been so prolific as they hand it off. Touchdown,
on
Durfee!
Cue. On cue. That's his Jason Hall's second touchdown of the night. He's got 2. Jaden Lewis has 1 on the scoop and score, and Javon Holly has the other one, right?
Yep. 24-0. That one will stand. And I know it's only the first half, 2:18 to play in the half, but I can't tell you how nice it is to call a game and feel relaxed. This is fantastic.
I'm sure Coach Brown feels the same way.
I was just going to say, oh my gosh, there's so many nail biters and so many times Hilltoppers are playing from behind. This has been as good of a first half as I've seen in years for Durfee. Offensively, defensively, it's been fantastic. Got a lot to be proud of right now, especially when you consider, again, the touchdowns that got taken back, to just stay with it, not let it get in your head.
Run it.
Passing,
Nice.
caught! Good
Nice.
for the 2 points.
Great throw on the run, rolling out to his left. And
26-0.
There's Brian Cruz with the nice catch.
Yep, falling down to the ground, making the catch.
26-0 Hilltoppers. 2 minutes to go in the first half.
Wow.
Pass attempt is complete to number 8, Brian Cruz.
Well, you hope in these next couple weeks that winning can become a habit for the Hilltoppers, and you build some momentum heading into next season.
Right.
You know, with the new format, I think they used to release all 3 games, but now they don't anymore. So you just play it week to week. So
Yeah.
we don't know who they play next week.
That's correct. So, and part of the reason why is because as the brackets are kind of a fluid situation, you know, you're going to have some teams who made the tournament in their brackets, they're going to get eliminated. They're also going to get thrown into this pool.
Yeah, because I know there were some questions. You don't want to play the same team 2 or 3 times. I know there's some issues with that the first couple of years, but they kind of rolled this out. So, yeah, taking into account play a different team every week.
Right.
But gearing up for New Bedford, and New Bedford's got their best team they've had in years.
Seriously.
Started the season 6-0 and lost a tough one last week to Brockton, but that's going to be a tough Thanksgiving Day game for the Hilltoppers here.
It will. It certainly will be. They're stacked with upperclassmen who are trying to go out on top. You mentioned that the pool system here for the non-playoff teams. If this happened, you mentioned about playing the same team. One of the weirdest ones, and this was early on in the in this system, which I think came out in 2014, I want to say, right around the time Taylor took over. We were over at Conley. It was week 10, so this was right before Thanksgiving. They played Pope John Paul II High School out of Hyannis, the Lions.
And they played them on Thanksgiving too, right?
That's their Thanksgiving opponent. So they played the Thanksgiving opponent, which is supposed to be like one time a year. They played them the week before.
Right. It's crazy.
And then played them again.
At least they fixed that.
Yeah, I mean, that's really...
That seemed like a no-brainer to be able to fix that.
Yeah, that'd be like opening the season against New Bedford and say, all right, we'll see you on Thanksgiving. You know, that's kind of weird.
Picked off.
Almost! Now that's interesting, too. Jacob Figueredo basically lifted up our Hilltopper, who went lunging for the ball, too. Kind of carried him down. Close to a pick, and there was a lot of open fields.
Yeah, I don't think Stang is the type of team that really wants to be having to throw the ball around. I think they're more of a, historically always been like a wishbone option team. We've seen a little bit of that tonight, but now you're seeing a little bit of shotgun. You're down 26-0 with 2 minutes to go in the half.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, and I know what you're saying about passing. I think part of the reason is because the offensive line can't hold Durfee. They're blitzing almost every time, and Giamo has been just taken down for a number of losses. He's been sacked 2 or 3 times already. And I'll tell you that we played Stang a few times, over the years here, recent years since I've been around, and we couldn't do anything to stop him. I mean, so this is kind of a...
Well, they do. They've always had a good program, and Coach Golden's a great coach over there, and they've always kind of had that same attitude we talked about earlier, where they've been tough.
That's
picked
picked off.
To the house. There it is.
Pick 6, the second defensive touchdown of the half for the Hilltoppers.
Wow.
A good old-fashioned Durfee beatdown here in Week 8. 32-zip.
Back for a Hilltoppers touchdown.
2 defensive touchdowns
In the first half.
Wow. You call it for Stang. Don't pass the ball. And again, the defense, it was just full-on blitz. Every time they're passing,
and
the
good
defense,
coverage downfield. I mean,
seriously.
the ball got tipped, and, everybody was playing their zone. And
trying to get an extra point kick successful here. Build some confidence for the kicker. I think that's wide as well. Yeah, wide left.
He's got the distance on it.
He's got the distance, but he's got the Mike Nugent pull.
Yeah.
No good.
Well, he lost
He'll
his
work
job
on that.
this week.
I know he did. 32-0 with $1:45 to play in just the first half, folks. Durfee up 32-0.
And that was Brian Cruz again, right, with the interception for the touchdown? You were mentioning him on offense. He made a nice play, in space out there. And then, like you said,
Cruz.
He's making me look good because I said he plays both sides of the ball and he's a playmaker. And Coach Brown had a lot of great things to say about him. And then he makes a big play on offense, catches a 2-point conversion, comes back on defense, picks it off, and takes it to the house.
Wow.
making me look like I know what I'm talking about.
Right, I know. Normally everybody makes the liar out of me,
Yeah.
so you're you're getting lucky here.
Preparation.
Well, I knew Durfee needed a win, and after we had good luck with the Somerset game on opening day, I figured I'd give you a call. So I think you're kind of the good luck. I wish you were available for Thanksgiving.
I wish.
But
too.
it's okay. Thanksgiving will be live here on Fred TV on Thanksgiving morning, 10 o'clock game. And boy, do we hope that it will be sunny and not raining because we've had enough rain in the month of October. I'm still waiting for the day we end up with a snowball on Thanksgiving. I have to be honest. I know it wouldn't be fun necessarily for the conditions in terms of playing it, but it would kind of be a fun atmosphere, I think.
The last one I remember, in this, it was probably, it was like 2001 or 2.
Yeah, it's been a long time.
That it was cold.
Yeah. Last year was cold enough. You remember a lot of teams switched to play Wednesday night
It was
last year
cold,
because of
right.
how cold it would be in the morning. It was going to be
Right.
warmer at night the night before on Thanksgiving Eve than it would be in the morning. And they were right, because let me tell you, Diamond was one of the teams that switched, and they hosted last year. So while we were getting ready to go on the road for Durfee to New Bedford on Thursday morning, Diamond moved to Wednesday night. Jake and I ended up going. We covered it. We got a snow squall pregame.
Yeah.
It was nuts, but I'm not kidding when I say Thanksgiving morning was worse.
Yeah,
Even with the sun, it was worse. Now I think.
I know I didn't go last year.
Yeah.
I usually go every year, but
Yeah. Now part of it could be too because I was a little more dressed for it at Diamond at Thanksgiving, dressed in a suit and stuff. And Vic and I decided last year that the next Thanksgiving game that we do together, we're not going to worry about being in full suit. We're going to dress for the elements.
Yeah.
We'll still maybe have a shirt and a tie, but we're going to definitely dress more for the elements because it was brutal. New Bedford has radiators in their booth. And I brought the little space heater from this booth. You wouldn't have even known they were
Didn't
on.
matter.
It was that bad. We might as well have just been outside on the roof because it was that bad. All right, 35 seconds, third down. Not 3rd and 48, 3rd and 3. 3rd and 3, under 30 seconds now. And
kind of surprised Stang just doesn't take it to the half. They get the ball to start the third quarter. I mean, I know it's 32-0, but
QB keeper.
that'll probably do
Ooh,
it.
kind of got bent backwards too.
DiGiamo, the ball carrier.
DiGiamo on the carry. Stang starting a motion toward the.
They're going to call a timeout, though.
Timeout.
Wow. Well, but you know, though, there's your old school Coach Golden. He's going to play it till the whistle.
That's it.
And I bet you mentioned Winarski. I bet Steve Winarski would do the same too. That's just these guys that have been around for years. That's and that's not to say
Yeah, and I
anything.
think
That's
he's
not
gotta-
saying anything against the new age coaches and Coach Brown or anything. But that's just the mentality. These guys who have been coaching for years. It's always been that way.
Well, I think looking down Stang's roster, too, I mean, this is the first time I've seen them this year, but there's a lot of underclassmen on that roster as well, so you want to get them as many reps as possible, especially, I mean, today it seems like Durfee's a little bit of a mismatch for him, so
Yeah,
you're playing against, guys that maybe are a little bit bigger or faster or stronger than, you're used to playing against, so let's get as many reps as we can, even though it's 32-0. We're not in the playoffs. Let's go play and try to build on it for next week or next year or whatever. So that's probably, what he's going to say at halftime. Probably part of the reason why he called a timeout down 32-0,
Right.
with 17 seconds to go in the half.
Want to pass down the field. Deep ball, incomplete. Stops the clock with 12 seconds. They'll get another snap. Hey, that's worth the shot. I mean, DiGiamo has an arm. We've seen he's been able to throw down the field. It's more about the accuracy.
Yeah, and on the flip side, I mean, I know I mentioned the underclassmen you're building towards, next week or next year, but, DiGiamo here, he's a senior. He doesn't have many snaps left. And
No.
for most guys, high school football is the end of the road, and it's not like playing basketball or baseball. Once you're done playing in high school, unless you go play in college, and you don't put a helmet and shoulder pads on again. You can't just go to the park and play football like you can basketball or baseball or
Right. There'll always be
Soccer or
baseball
whatever.
summer leagues and stuff, but there's not always a football summer league for non-pros. Incomplete pass, 8 seconds to play, and it'll bring up 3rd down and 10.
This will probably be the last play of the half either way, I would think.
3rd down and long.
Yeah, most likely. Because even if they complete the pass, they get tackled right away. They're not getting to the line. No more timeouts for Stang. They've used all 3.
Be interesting to see how Durfee responds. You know, like you said, they're not used to probably being ahead 32-0.
No.
You know, at the half. So take the half to. We're gonna delay a game.
They're pointing to somebody. I think it might be a false start.
It was weird because they weren't even set. Didn't seem like.
Right.
Well, of course it's on Durfee.
Oh, okay. There you go. Well,
I don't know what the penalty was, but.
So right now we have the. We're winning the flag battle. We have more than Stang. I don't think Stang's been called on 1. But when you're up 32-0, I guess it's okay. Gonna hurl it again. Good spiral. That's gonna end the half. Good defense for the Hilltoppers. The Hilltoppers go into the half. 32-0 the score over the Spartans after 2 quarters. What a fun first half at Mac Aldridge Field. We're gonna step aside. We'll have the senior night ceremony for you. That happened pregame. We're gonna run that right now. We'll see you on the other side with the 3rd quarter on Fred TV. Stay tuned.
Hello, I'm Kelly Susie Young, Election Commissioner for the City of Fall River. You will notice some changes at the polls on November 5th. State-of-the-art voting machines will be used for the November 5th election. These are the same machines we used in the September preliminary election. You will see blank ovals on the ballot. Please, completely fill in the oval next to the name of the candidates of your choice. Most municipalities in Massachusetts use the DS200 system. Now we do too. Training sessions are available upon request. Please, make time to vote. It is your civic duty. We hope to see you at the polls on November 5th. If you have any questions, our poll workers will be happy to help. Thank you.
Join us for an afternoon at Narrows Center for the Arts to celebrate the legacy and musical contributions of Michael Troy. The Michael Troy Foundation supports inclusive music education at Durfee. Michael's family invites you to be a part of this special fundraiser on Sunday, November 10th at the Narrows, 16 Anawan Street, Fall River. Performances begin at 1 p.m. Tickets are $25.
Tonight is senior night, and we would like to take this time to recognize the hardworking senior band members, cheerleaders, and football players, as well as their family and friends escorting them. Thank you all for your hard work throughout the entire season and your careers. We greatly appreciate your commitment and dedication to Durfee High School. We wish you all the best in your future endeavors. Also, thank you, parents and family members, for all of your support to your student athlete and to Durfee High School. We will start by recognizing the senior band members. Senior, Demetrius Crow, drum major, escorted by Jillian Ferreira. Senior, Matthew Barlageron, Barry Sachs and woodwind captain, escorted by Rory Botello. Senior, Dorothy Barros, color guard captain, escorted by Ryan Gagnon. Now to recognize the senior cheerleaders. Senior Sam Souza, escorted by Garrett and Nicole Souza and sister Aubrey Souza. Senior Veronica Sang, escorted by Con Sang and On Sang. Senior Aaliyah Barros, escorted by Evanira Texera. Cameron Valcourt, escorted by Lynn and James Christensen and Matilda Anger. Jaden LaPointe, escorted by Amanda and Dave LaPointe. Cecilia Alou, escorted by Melissa and Mike Fogarty. And lastly, Isabella Hitu, escorted by Greta and Douglas Hitu and sister Chanel Hitu. And for our senior football players, first, Derek Cordova, escorted by Glendalee Oliveras and Lester Cordova. Kevin Padilla, escorted by Reina Padilla and Wilbur Padilla. Sebastian Centeo, escorted by Anna and Sebastio Centeo. And Emmanuel Allende, escorted by Maya Smith. Ladies and gentlemen, how about one last round of applause for our senior student athletes and extracurricular athletic participants.
Honor, courage, sacrifice, pride, our city. Fall River has traditionally been in the forefront of honoring our nation's soldiers, sailors, Marines, and airmen. Vietnam veterans took the initiative to secure rights to an 80% size replica of the Healing Wall for Veterans Bicentennial Park. The names of over 58,000 fallen heroes will be engraved on the 360-foot-long replica wall. 100% of the money raised benefits the building of our Vietnam Veterans Memorial Wall in Fall River. Help build our wall, which is scheduled to open in 2020. The meaning, the spirit, and the value of the wall is everyone's. Be part of this exceptional, once-in-a-lifetime project. To make a donation, please visit VietnamMemorialWall.org or connect with us at Facebook.com.
Welcome back, folks. Third quarter about to begin here on Fred TV. Evan Massoud and BJ McDonald with you for the call. It is the Hilltoppers blowing out the Spartans here after two quarters. The score 32-0 in favor of Durfee High School. What was a fantastic first half. 3 offensive touchdowns, 2 defensive touchdowns. One was a fumble recovery run back. One was a pick six. Everything going right for Durfee, and we don't normally get to say that today. It seems like the perfect game for the Hilltoppers, at least through 2 quarters.
Yeah, great first half. I mean, they scored on the first play of the game, right up the middle. Jay Hall with a 65-yard touchdown to set the tone right off the bat, and they haven't looked back. So now you hope here to start the third quarter you get a stop and just keep the momentum rolling. but this is not the start you're looking for.
No, here's a chance, and it looks like it may be a return. No. Oh, there's a pushback. There's whistles. I think he might have stepped out of bounds. That was Liam Cogliano.
Number 7, Liam Cogliano.
It's interesting, as we were talking about it at halftime, it's probably not really a position Durfee's used to being in.
Right.
You know, being ahead 32-0. So you scored 32 points in the first half. It doesn't mean Stang can't score 32 in the second half.
Absolutely.
So you got to, put them away here to start the third quarter and not lose the momentum.
Yep, and this will be the best field position that Stang has had all game long after a almost 50-yard return. Handed off on first down. Jacob Figueredo taking it, number 21. Good for a gain of 4, 3 or 4 right up the middle.
Tackled by number 68.
What I'm interested is, with that veteran leadership of Coach Golden, I'm interested to see what Stang does here in the second half. Because really, offensively they looked lost in the first half, and defensively the Hilltoppers just ran it down their throats. So nothing really was working for the Spartans. That's why you see the score the way it is. So I'm curious to see what.
Yeah, they're not going to roll over and die.
Oh, God, no. Of course not.
I think play the game like it's 0-0 and try to win the second half. First win the third quarter, try to win the fourth quarter, and, if you're Durfee, you want to put them away. Make sure that don't give them any life. Don't let them put one in here and give them any thought that they're going to come back. If you're Stang, it's one play at a time, it's one score at a time. You're not going to put 32 points up in one play. So
right.
There's a lot of football cliches in there, but that's really what it comes down to is it's going to be one play at a time and one score at a time.
Third down, and the Spartans are stopped.
So it's another, there it is.
There's
a momentum play, 4th and 4.
Fourth down coming.
Tackled by number 2, Dante Sawyer. 4th down, Spartans.
4th and 4. Right on the 15. After the great return, a 4-yard pickup on first down. It was no gain on second. 2-yard pickup on third down. Gonna pass. It is complete, and that'll be good for the first down. Did
you get it? It's close. Yeah, you got it. All right.
Just
outside the 10-yard line, so it'll be 1st and 10. They'll be able to pick up another first down, just probably outside the 1 or just inside the 1-yard line.
Yeah, looking like it's on the 11-yard line. It's not quite the 10 yet, so you're right. There is room if they need 2 sets of downs, but, when you get to this point in the field, you're looking end zone. And the Hilltoppers are looking for a big play here. Figueredo gets the handoff, dives down toward the 5-yard line.
Figueredo, the ball carrier.
I know it's difficult probably, but, Durfee seems to be lacking a little bit of energy here to start the third quarter. And you don't want to get into any bad habits.
Oh, God.
You're not used to being in this position where, essentially you feel like the game is over at halftime.
Mm-hmm.
But it really isn't. Yeah, and it really is, a lot can happen.
Right. We saw that in the first half.
Exactly.
Figueredo went diving down, picked up a yard. It's going to bring up third and about 4 or 5 from the maybe 5 or 6 yard line.
And 5 for the Spartans.
Looking like
Good news is the clock's running.
Yeah. Looking like 3rd and 4 coming up from the 5-yard line. The line to gain is the 1-yard line. And, of course, the end zone just 5 yards away as the Spartans looking to get on the board here for the first time in Week 8. Passing to the end zone, almost picked off.
Looked like they got tangled up there. You read that pretty well.
That
Jaden Lewis.
Yep, Jaden Lewis cut it off. Probably should have been picked, and I'll tell you want to talk open field.
Yeah, it looked like they just got caught up. His legs got tangled up with their receiver there. If he didn't trip, it was
he would have had a 95-yard return. Yep, he would have gone all the way. So another 4th down play coming up for the Durfee defense. 4th and 4 from the 5. DiGiamo incomplete on that third down pass. We'll see if he goes to the air here on fourth down. Pressure coming, gets the pass off, and is caught. Wide open for the touchdown, and the Spartans have something to cheer about here to start the third quarter. 32-6.
To number 10, Justin Hankins for the Spartans.
And they're going to go for two. And at 32 points, I mean, it's a 4-score game, right? Four touchdowns with 4 2-point conversions. So there is a little bit of life here in the Spartans. A quick touchdown to start the third quarter, and probably a big 2-point play here.
Definitely a big 2-point play. Otherwise, you're looking at needing 4 touchdowns and then some versus 3 touchdowns and 3 more 2-point conversions. And that's assuming Durfee doesn't score again.
Right. Stang hasn't stopped them all night.
Right. If Durfee scores again, I think it's safer to say that it's more in the bag if they get it back up to a 32-point margin. But gonna go for the 2. Pressure is coming, and is he gonna run? He will run it. It's picked off. He shuffled past it, and I don't think that the Spartans came away with it. I think it was into Durfee hands. And they're quite a bit of ways from us, but it looked like there was a lot of red. Yeah, incomplete. So that's a big stop there. Honestly, DiGiamo could have just run it in. You're looking at 2 yards.
I don't think he tried to throw that.
No, I think maybe it just came loose.
Yeah, I think he got
maybe a punch from behind.
Popped out. I think so.
Because he definitely tucked it under like he was ready to run, and then all of a sudden the ball was bouncing around.
Right.
All right, so 32-6 as Stang gets on the board. They avoid a shutout here. A lot of fans have left at the half, too. It is quite cold. And I know the Durfee cheering section here is really thinned out right in front of us. Oh, and a few of them coming back. Maybe they're still in the lines looking for the Swiss Miss hot chocolate.
Can't blame them.
I can't blame him. That was good. I haven't had hot chocolate in a long time. This third quarter not brought to you by Swiss Miss.
Although we'll take any advertising dollars they want to throw our way.
Hey, scholarship money any day. Oh, man. The Stang fans either have thinned out as well or they shifted because they were pretty full on the right side of the bleachers. Now they're dead center on that far side. But I think a lot of people headed home at halftime.
We can't blame them. 45-minute delay,
it's a long night.
Or so
long night. Oh, yeah.
So Durfee was all the way up expecting the onside kick. They kick it deep.
And Lewis picks it up. Across the middle.
Look at this.
Has some room. Has a blocker there. It says cut to the outside. Jaden Lewis down the sidelines.
See ya.
A kickoff return. Boy, we've seen it all here tonight at Mac Aldridge. Oh, a flag back at the 50-yard line.
Oh, my God. This guy, give me a break. Unbelievable.
Fourth time a touchdown has been taken off the board.
Unbelievable.
It's really, really poor. Really poor. All right, we saw the cutback here. There wasn't a hold. If anything, it was a block.
I don't think anybody even really blocked anybody because the ball was kicked deep and it was kind of
that was right in front of us.
Free-for-all.
There was no hold there. I mean, that's ridiculous. That really is ridiculous.
Yeah, it's horrible.
At least for the Hilltoppers, be thankful that they're up 32-6. Because if this was a one-score game and that just opened it up a bit, that would hurt way more than it does now.
It's
still a bad call.
It's unfortunate when the referees try to insert themselves into the game. I
mean, the plays where it's been taken away. I mean, these are huge plays. You're talking a kickoff return for 80-something yards.
Jay Hall, the ball carrier, tackled by number 3.
Well, the good news is we got the ball.
Right.
The clock's moving. Stang hasn't stopped Durfee all night.
Right.
So, you choose some clock here. The interesting thing is, if this lead continues to swell, the Hilltoppers don't have a JV team. So, we talked about it earlier, there hasn't been enough interest and there has not enough bodies to even field a JV team. So you get to that point, there's a fine line where you don't necessarily even have a ton of backups to put in. And
here you go, Jay Hall breaking through. Slows up, cuts back, takes a hit. They're going to call him out of bounds.
Call the ball carrier. Run out of bounds by number
We sure there wasn't a
55.
hold on that play? Oh, wait,
No, he didn't score.
They didn't score. That's
Ball carry
right.
is enough for a Hilltoppers first down.
Just about under 7 minutes in the third quarter. Nowhere to go there.
Yeah, Keyshawn Rue trying to cut back in on first down.
Through the ball carrier. No gain on the play.
And no gain. One of the really only bad runs of the night for Durfee. Stang kind of buttoned up the middle there. So replay it here. Second down from the 23. 2nd and 10 after no gain. Oh, he jumped. Oh, he escaped the tackle. Are you kidding me? Jay Hall should have been taken down in the back by Ben Gowell. And he literally skipped right out from underneath them. That's crazy.
He's an athlete for sure.
He really is.
Down and 8 Hilltoppers.
Hall, just a sophomore. 3rd down and 8.
Durfee in no hurry, which is very smart.
Yeah, just, you know,
There you
take
go.
the time.
Get upfield.
Pass complete by
at
Thomas.
this.
Coming to the corner.
Touchdown.
He wants a touchdown pass. Easy peasy.
Thomas is
Javon
back
Holly.
to number 3. Javon Holly is caught. and
No
brought into the
flags.
Hilltoppers touchdown.
Nice throw by Isaiah.
Yeah.
Nice job by the offensive line. Great catch and run by Javon Holly. And I think that's so much for that Stang comeback.
Right. Is that the first touchdown pass for? I forget now. We've seen so many touchdowns.
That was the first one of
First
today,
one in the
yeah.
air, right?
Of
yeah,
the
yeah,
year?
'cause- no,
Or
of the air.
Oh,
in the
yeah.
air. Because Cruz almost got in on the far side, but then he got stopped. So
Right.
that was the one I was thinking of.
Right.
So first,
And he threw a the 2-point conversion. Cruz
That's right.
caught over here.
that's right. So first passing touchdown, though, of the night is Durfee's 6th touchdown.
There it is.
That one
Oh, yep.
down Main Street.
I can't tell from this angle if it's wide right, left,
tough.
down the middle.
It's tough. But that one is good, and it's 39-6. That's Jay Hall kicking, too, right?
It
Hall?
is, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, kickoffs, extra points. He punts, he plays defense, he plays offense. He does a little bit of everything.
Pretty much. 5:16 to play in the quarter.
But just going back to what I said before, too, it's interesting kind of dilemma that, Durfee probably hasn't had in a long time where you don't have a ton of backup players that don't play. They're just not a lot of numbers. So,
Yeah.
You don't want to be disrespectful to the other team and Coach Golden and, his squad. But,
you see
a
the chips
lot
like
of these
running up the-
cases, you
Yeah,
see
yeah.
teams put in their JV team in the fourth quarter, but from Durfee's standpoint, they don't have a JV team.
No. Got a freshman
But I guess
team.
it's a good problem to
I
have
was just saying,
tonight.
it's a
We're
good
not going
problem
to
have.
complain about that
No.
one.
The Hilltoppers have not had a game like this in years. So, as far as I'm concerned, keep the pedal down and build on this. This is a huge confidence booster. You're coming in against a team with a winning record. I know Stang is in a lower division, but again, Stang's manhandled us before. So this is, and again, playing Dartmouth. Dartmouth's had an off season. They haven't had the best year, but beat Dartmouth on the road, last week. So they're coming in with some momentum, and the Hilltoppers, put their statement down 22 seconds into the game tonight.
Yeah, and I think that this might actually, make that Dartmouth loss sting a little bit more for the Hilltoppers. That was a game they felt they should have won, could have won, probably do win.
Yeah, 2 years in a
most
row
of the time,
they
and,
lost it.
Unfortunate that they let it slip away, but after a couple tough weeks against a couple very, very good teams in Barnstable and Brockton, it all came together here tonight.
Sure did. Running it on first down, a pickup of 2 yards. 2nd and 8.
Morales, the ball
Defense has
carrier.
played great. I mean, that touchdown
Tackled
drive
by
there was a
Sawyer.
short drive after the long kick return by Stang. So the Durfee defense has been great. The offense has
Second
been
down,
great.
Spartans.
And Durfee, you know, had 2 4th down opportunities to stop him as well. So they weren't allowing Stang to just, you know, pick up 5 yards here, 5 yards there. Really, I think if we want to nitpick, maybe we say special teams work on the returns, because Stang has had some decent returns. That's
Right.
really been the only spot they've gotten decent yardage all night long. And as you said earlier in the game, returns are like the hardest thing to defend on, because so many things can happen when you have full sprinting, head-on collisions and everything, you know. So
Third down
We got a
and
new quarterback
Spartans.
in for Stang. That's number 2, Dylan Aguiar.
yeah, the junior replacing DiGiamo. But Stang's roster considerably larger. Oh, tackle down there. Great tackle. That was Cruz.
That was a good job by
Morales, the ball
Jaden, too,
carrier,
though. Forced
tackled
him
by
back
number
into
8,
the
Brian
middle,
Cruz.
you know, playing on the outside. Kept his outside arm free. Forced the guy back into the middle where he had all his help.
Gain of 1 yard. 4th down and 7, Spartans.
So looking at 4th down here in 7. Hilltoppers hoping to take over on downs. Looking to pass. Aguiar dropping back. Pressure is coming. There is a flag in the backfield. He gets tackled out of play right around the line of scrimmage. But again, a flag coming in from the back.
Aguiar, the ball carrier.
That should be a
tackled
hold
by
on
number 2,
Stang, I'd
Dante
imagine.
Sawyer. There is a flag on the play.
Although,
Let's say this would
probably against Durfee.
I think this would be Stang's first penalty of the game. Seriously, I'm trying to think back, and
No, I don't
they
think
really
have.
there haven't been many penalties other than on the holding
But you
calls.
decline that penalty if it's against Stang, and it'll be a turnover on downs.
Right. So Durfee takes it back over. Really, the only penalties really were there was an offsides, and then there was the holding calls that negated the touchdowns. Other than that, there really haven't been a lot of flags. So Durfee takes over at their own 42 with 3:26 to play in the third. Plus, if you're watching this, it's Monday. This being a Friday night game at the weekend.
Oh,
Oh,
no.
a fumble! I think he might have fallen back on it though.
Rue, the ball carrier.
I
He
think
did,
Rue
and he
got it.
picked up
Football
4
from
or
Cruz
5.
on fumble.
4. 2nd and 6.
Gain of 3 yards.
One thing Durfee has
Second
not done
down,
tonight is
7
turn the
Hill.
ball over. And I'll tell you, protecting the ball is the number one thing,
What a difference that makes
right?
when you don't
Seriously.
turn the ball over.
Timeout called.
It's a pretty simple game, Ev. Just
Yeah.
don't turn the ball over, block and tackle.
Right. So an official timeout.
Somebody hurt?
Kelly Mahoney, our trainer, going across the field. They called for the trainer. So Ben Goel was hurt on that last play apparently. So Kelly went to check him out, and yeah, I guess
Send the doctor over.
yeah, I need some help over there. So, but as I was about to say that, you know, this is a Monday and it's a big week here in the city, and with the election on Tuesday, you know, again, I always want to encourage, you know, we're an educational channel, and you know, doing your civic duty, getting out and voting is important, but making an informed vote is even more important. So, you know, do your homework, and let's bring that voter turnout percentage up. It's been so low over the last few elections, and God knows our city, we've had a lot of crazy elections. There's been some crazy stuff, and so we hope that the voters come out and really make their voices known and let the city have their say. That's what it's about. That's why we vote. So, and we encourage that at the high school level with the 18-year-olds here, the seniors, having rocked the vote, trying to get the high schoolers registered to vote so that they can take an interest in their city as well, in their country, and so it's important stuff. So, city election on Tuesday. Get out and vote. The polls open early. They close at 8 p.m. There's plenty of time. It takes about 10-15 minutes to go and vote. So get out there and do your civic duty. And we'll have live election coverage from Government Center, Pamela Martin, Keith Tebow on FRG TV, Channel 18, the government channel, our sister station. We'll have live coverage as we always do. It's the official government channel for all things city related. That'll kick off at 8 p.m. on Election Tuesday, right after the polls close.
Good for a Hilltopper. First down.
So we're under 2 minutes to go in the third quarter. First down, Hilltoppers. A couple guys in there that really I don't think we've seen too much of. While you were talking there, Ev, it was number 48, Jermaine Torres. He got a carry. I think that was his first carry of the night. He's the deep man now on first down. He's going to get it again off the left side.
Yep. Well, he breaks through. Nice run there on first down. And I think you're right. While we don't have a JV team, B, you mentioned that, we're seeing the regulars are out. I see Holly on the sideline, Hall, Lewis, Cruz, Ronald Genty. They're all on the sidelines here. Those guys all wearing some of the single-digit numbers and are really a lot of the playmakers. So my guess is it's kind of a run-out-the-clock situation right now with the score the way it is. 60 seconds now to play in this third quarter. And I think you're going to see some of the...
You're not trying to embarrass anybody.
No,
everybody's got a lot of respect for Coach Golden and his team. And,
All right. First down. And then some.
We talked about Durfee being on the other end of these things, over the years. And it's good to be on this side of it.
It sure is, yeah. I stand by what I said. I haven't called a Durfee blowout, honestly, for football, I don't think ever. And this is, my first fall season was 2012. And all I can remember, and I was doing...
Well, and that was the height of, the biggest mistake that the athletic department's ever made, getting rid of Coach Winarski and setting the program back, a dozen years or so before you get the thing back on track. Mm-hmm. So that was a travesty what happened to him in doing what that was done there. And it took forever to, you went through a carousel of coaches, and you can't build a program with a different coach every year.
No, you're right. And that's why guys like... See, guys like Coach Golden, they stick around for a long time. They build that program up.
And the program takes on the identity of the head coach, and I think that was the identity that Coach Winarski's teams had were similar to the identity of, the teams that Coach Brown's trying to build.
Right.
Tough, hard-nosed football. Let's run the ball. Let's block and tackle.
And that's not surprising because, as you said earlier, Taylor, he played under Coach Winarski, so he had that base from Coach Winarski. So
they all did, the whole staff. Taylor, right. Chris Thomas, Nathan Levesque, Timmy Powers.
You, when you coached and played. Oh yeah. Yep. All right. Third quarter is done, so we're switching sides here. The timeout for the officials to reset. So final 12 minutes. On the clock here at Mack Aldridge Field. The score 39-6. The Hilltoppers with the advantage. And then some.
They got to have close to 300 yards rushing. No?
Oh, yeah. They've done nothing but run the ball. Now, the pick six was good for about 50 yards, 55 yards. The fumble recovery was about 30, 35 yards. So those are defensive run backs.
Yeah, so maybe not 300, but probably two. I mean, Jay Hall's going to have 100 yards.
Easily over 2, I would say. I mean, they'd probably be close to 400 yards if they didn't have those touchdowns taken back on the holding calls.
For sure. We got a stat update from Coach. Jay Hall had 126 yards in the first half. So we'll have to
Yeah.
wait to tally up and watch the film in the second half to see where he finished up. But over 100 yards in the first half.
Tackle down. Looked like Derek Cordova, one of the seniors, getting some time to run the ball, some playing time here in the fourth quarter. Gets the first down at, I want to say, the 12-yard line, so first and 10 from about the 12. The Hilltoppers trying to go over 40 points. So be getting the word here from our official in the booth that with the score the way it is, I guess a somewhat mercy rule is in effect here, part of the Federation rules, as the Hilltoppers are gonna, I think, punch it in. They will. 45-6, Durfee over 40 points. How about that? But the clock will roll here because of the score being so lopsided. Only injuries will stop it, not even timeouts. Not even this reset here for the extra point. It's literally just run the clock. So
that's all right. It's making up for the 45-minute, light delay we had earlier.
No, exactly.
Get out of here.
Real time here. It's the game is 2 hours old, and so it's 9:30. It should have started at 7. We didn't start till just after 7:30. So it has been a long game and a lot of scoring. That kick is good as well from Hall.
Nope.
Oh, no, wow.
You can't tell.
So I was good in the I was good. There's more light on that left side. That one no good, though. So 45-6 with 10 to play and counting. Wow.
And that touchdown was Keyshawn Rue, so he had one called back in the first half, so good to see him get one in after they took one away from him earlier. They've had it's been pretty balanced as far as who's doing the scoring. I mean, you're led by Jay Hall with a couple touchdowns, but across the board now getting some other guys involved and finding pay dirt.
Gonna have to go back into the archives for scores to try to figure out the last time the Hilltoppers had a victory this lopsided where they got up by over 40 points, because this has just been a tremendous effort for Durfee from top to bottom.
And hopefully it's something to build on. We've talked about the reseeding and the different pools that you go in, and now that you're in that non-playoff bracket, hopefully you get another team that's you can build on and get a couple more wins.
And there are a couple wins going back, I want to say maybe 4 or 5 years ago. I think it might have been Taylor's first or second year with this non-playoff brackets where they had some success, where they put up 30-something points. And one of those years they beat Nauset. Nauset was having kind of a down year. They won, I want to say 3 or 4 out of those last games. Well, that's a loose ball, but it will be picked up by the Spartans. I think that was Brad Kilby's year, Mike Correa. I think he was still coaching when we lost. Kilby was out on Thanksgiving out in New Bedford. I think that was the overtime game, maybe.
There was overtime, yeah.
Nick Salmon was still playing. I think that if I recall,
Eli Brooks.
Yeah, if I recall, Brooks, I think he was a sophomore or a junior that year. He didn't graduate because his last game was here when he got his 2,000th yard. So if memory serves right, because of course it's starting to all blur.
Yeah.
But if memory serves right, that season, Durfee had some good success in this round of November games, and they were putting up about 30 a game. Because I remember doing kind of the stats, and it was kind of a tale of two seasons for Durfee. So,
right.
So if we want to talk about offense and winning some games, arguably you could say it's probably been 4 or 5 years since they had a solid victory like this. Not a blowout, but just a solid one by a few touchdowns.
Yeah, they've dominated this game from start to finish.
This
the first play of the game they scored, and Stang is they've been overmatched, and I don't know if they didn't come to play, and I don't know, or if Durfee played really well, but I think you've got to give Durfee a lot of credit for coming out and scoring right off the bat and not taking their foot off the gas.
Second and a long 6, they'll run it. Pickup of, say, 3 yards. We'll be looking at third and a long 3, 3rd and 4.
Well, going back to, the first half, you said we had Jake down there doing, some shooting for the promos and stuff.
Right.
This is the best promo you can have for the football team, getting the word out that, hey,
Right.
It's fun, and it's fun to win.
And how fortunate that we're getting that footage on on a night where we're scoring a lot of points, making some defensive stops, got the fumble recovery. So it all kind of worked out. We tried to do this back in week 4, which was against Nauset, Durfee's last regularly scheduled home game, and unfortunately we weren't able to do so. We had a couple people sick that were supposed to work the game. We were actually going to have the drone going too. We were going to get a couple shots hovering over the light tower, the clock tower, and but it didn't. Couldn't do it. We didn't end up with enough staff. And hey, what do you do when someone gets sick? I mean, it happens. So, so Jake kind of rearranged. We rearranged his coverage with us, and he was able to work tonight, and it worked out perfectly because Nauset wasn't a lot of offense at all, and it ended up being a loss for Durfee. So this is everything you could want.
Maybe you can Photoshop those flags out of a couple of those runs on your highlight film.
Well, nobody knows if you're watching it on a promo and just seeing, Holly running into your TV set. No one knows if there was a flag thrown unless it gets in the shot. So we'll review that footage, but a good solid run from Holly is definitely used, or whomever was running. We said Rue had one taken away too. So B-roll can be used a lot easier than this game footage, and that's why we're using a different camera for that. And wanted somebody on the sideline to get that different on the field angle.
Working on your Thanksgiving promos?
No, not yet. Actually, we're trying to get through the election and the Veterans Day parade. It's just this week here is like the perfect storm of everything going on at once. So November when it always happens because of the way it's every other year, so every 2 years, and then elections are on 2 years. So every year that Durfee hosts Thanksgiving and we have to be the host broadcast live, we also get election day. The parade, we always have the parade. That's annual. But yeah, November, whenever it's a host year on Thanksgiving, November is it's a crazy November month, that's for sure. So 4th down here, 4 minutes and 10 seconds to play as the clock just keeps on rolling. Oh, and they're switching personnel here. Wow, big changes. Assuming they're gonna punt it. Yeah. Dropping back is Tyler Medeiros. It's 4th down and 9 at midfield. Good punt. Falling fast, and it's going to roll a while. All the way down inside the 5. So the Hilltoppers way back deep.
You probably just take a knee. The clock's going to run anyway, so probably just sit on it, I would think.
Yeah. What's the worst that happens? You give it back to Stang, maybe 20 seconds. Timeout, Hilltoppers. Oh, and that'll eat up some time, so that's going to allow them to take the knee.
Oh, yeah, because
that's what it's going to do, because, again, the clock's going to keep rolling.
The clock doesn't even stop on the timeout.
Oh, and Greg Sullivan has entered the booth to come and harass us in the final 2 minutes, as he usually does. We love you. The last game I did here was the Nauset game, and Greg was hanging around, and he's, like, admiring the new handheld mic that I have, and so I said, fine. I said, I'll plug it in. I know you just want to talk. So Greg joined me for those last 2 minutes last time.
I think he's on double duty tonight, coming from Stang. Triple
duty for Greg Sullivan.
I tried to help you. I sent you a tweet at halftime, Greg.
2 minutes to play.
Probably he might get whacked for a delay. I don't know.
Possible. Hilltoppers hit the field now, 90 seconds to play. They will pick up victory number 3 here of the season. Oh, high snap. They're going to run a play. Wow, I really didn't expect that. And a flag in the back.
The least surprising thing of all time.
You really don't like those yellow flags.
I mean, you're really going to throw a flag. It's 45-6. There's a minute to go. They probably don't even – you got one snap left.
Well, you know –
They might not even have to. Did they even set the ball yet?
I was just going to say, the clock is rolling whether he throws the flag or not, so why not? Let him do it. 45 seconds. Taylor should call timeout and just go shake hands. $30 seconds to play. Well, B, thanks for joining me tonight because this was a lot of fun, and like I said, we did the Somerset game to start the year, and I kind of got you short notice here, but I'm glad because obviously we didn't know we were going to have a home game this week until the weekend, so. That's it, 10 seconds. Thank you for joining me, B. This was a lot of fun, man. We haven't had a game like this at Mack Aldridge Field in years. Congrats to the Hilltoppers. What a game. 45-6, the final score. Wow. Wow.
Yeah,
everything
thanks for having
worked.
me, Ev. It was a lot of fun, like you said, and glad to see the Hilltoppers get a convincing win here tonight.
For sure. All right. For our camera guys, our 2 students, Cameron and Nathan, thanks for braving the elements. Little extended play here with that delay, like we said. For BJ, my broadcast partner, I'm Evan Massoud. So long from Durfee High School. And don't forget, Thanksgiving, live from right here at Mack Aldridge Field and on Channel 9. Good night, everybody.